We love his energy, his demeanor and attitude that he brings towards the team. And obviously, since he's been, ever since he's been calling the plays, he brought a different, delivery to it. And, we got his back.
Yeah, DeMarcus Walker speaking on behalf of the Bears locker room, especially the defensive side, as they get to know interim head coach Thomas Brown. He's had quite a few weeks going from passing game coordinator to interim offensive coordinator, now interim head coach. But when he stood in front of the team for the first time on Monday in that team meeting, he said the music stopped, everyone turned, and they were all eyes on him. And he said his message was to unify this team, talked about coachability, accountability, dependability, a very strong message that I thought really resonated with the locker room. Lou, what did you like about the way he handled everything?
I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see if his players respond. They've said all the right things. Thomas Brown was impressive in front of the media, in front of his players. Now go out and walk the talk against the Niners. Great opportunity for the Bears to finally end this 6-game losing skid against a depleted San Francisco roster that was in the Super Bowl a year ago and is 5-7 this season without many of its stars.
He commands a room. There's no doubt about that with Thomas Brown. I mean, that part is very impressive. But overall, it's a coaching staff that now you see responsibilities being divvied up in a different way and roles that guys haven't necessarily held for very long, like Thomas Brown, who just became the offensive play caller a few weeks ago. Now he is also the head coach. Eric Washington hasn't called defenses since 2018. Here he is now having to take over that role. You've lost a head coach. You've lost an offensive coordinator. So it's a coaching staff that's spread thin in a way that can be a bit difficult to manage. But you certainly have players in place that have been asking for this enhanced preparation, this enhanced focus from the staff. And the results, especially in some key and critical moments, have shown that that hasn't necessarily been there.
Big A, because you played the game, as a player, do you not respect the coaches like you would coaches that are more experienced in the coordinator position? Because you're bringing up some great points. These guys have never been through it. Or is it, hey, let's throw caution to the wind and hopefully we'll get through it and we feel good about it because the players inevitably are going to win the game or lose the game?
Well, it's an individual case-by-case thing. I mean, so far the evidence is that the Bears offense has very much responded to Thomas Brown. And the thing is, it's really impressive because he's one of the individuals who hasn't been here as long. Matt Eberflus and the Bears defensive staff, most of them had been in place. Certainly executives and personnel had been in place. Thomas Brown is still a fairly new face. Caleb, of course, just joining the Bears as a rookie. We've seen Caleb Williams respond. We've seen the Bears offense as a whole respond to Thomas Brown's leadership style. So if you're the right style of leader, if you're putting the players in a position to succeed, they're certainly pulling that off.
Two notes on that. DeAndre Swift, I sat down and talked to him this week. He said just because he played in the NFL, he has automatic respect from that locker room. Yeah. And then another thing that Thomas Brown mentioned right off the bat is he's not absolved from the end of game situations. And you talk about accountability, something that was definitely missing from the previous head coach. All the players pointed that out this week, and it led to a lot of the frustrations. He's like, I take that on too. That started with me as well. And he said this week they were working with Chris Beatty on game and time management, something that's important. Over these last 5 games, while he's in this tryout for the NFL and the Bears, right, what realistically can he change or can he get out of this team that you think would prove to the Bears that he is a viable candidate, Lou?
I don't think he can change much because they're still going to remain a 4-3 defense. They're still may run the football more than we saw them run under Shane Waldron. We are seeing Caleb Williams develop, step forward with his progress more than we did under Shane Waldron. And I think at some point you just need to let players play. And there's a lot of veterans on this team. I thought Chris Beatty was terrific earlier this week when he said, Keenan Allen's like a coach out there for me.
Smartest football mind he's ever met.
And for good reason. Guys, in the league 13 seasons, 6-time Pro Bowler. What is a coach going to tell a Keenan Allen out there that he's not already heard or lived?
And you guys are talking about Caleb Williams a little bit. That dynamic, that relationship, and that production that Thomas Brown can continue to get from Caleb Williams, that to me, in a season right now that isn't having the tangible results from a win-loss perspective that the Bears, that many of us were hoping for, but to continue to get the most out of Caleb. Now he's starting to stack performances, and that can be really difficult to do. We've compared him with other rookie quarterbacks. We've seen some of those ups and downs. Now it's pretty much 3 games in a row the 3 games that Thomas Brown has taken over as offensive play caller, you're seeing the best and most consistent version of Caleb we've seen. So that will continue to be a focal point for the Bears.
Against some really good defenses,
Yeah.
let's point out.
Yes, he's learned to beat the blitz. We can all agree on that in many ways. Everyone's going to be narrowing in, though, on Caleb Williams over these last 5 games. And he viewed a lot of these changes as a stepping stone in his career, actually saying he's glad it happened in his rookie season because it'll help him down the line. Do you have any concern with all the changes and maybe now the time being taken away that Thomas Brown and Caleb Williams had this good working relationship? Now Brown's stretched a little bit more thin.
None. I think this guy's a
You're
different
smiling.
dude.
You're like, no, it's great.
This guy's a different dude. Listen, I bought into Caleb Williams before the Bears drafted him, no matter what kind of struggles he went through in the second half of last season at USC, and he's proving me right now. I actually think that he is taking this opportunity. He's learning from a new offensive coordinator, new head coach, told the media, yeah, this is different. This wasn't expected in my first rookie season. But the smile is still there. He has not changed his demeanor once when meeting with the media at Hallis Hall. And I actually think he relishes off this opportunity, that he's embracing this gauntlet, this schedule that sits in front of him, these final 5 games. And as I said, man, he is on a roll right now. His last 3 games against the Packers, Vikings, and Lions defenses, pretty darn good.
It's remarkably impressive so far. Now, the most impressive aspect of what we saw on Thanksgiving Day took place in the second half of the game against Detroit. So this is a good opportunity. A San Francisco squad where their roster is a bit depleted. They're a team that's been struggling, really gotten blown out the last couple of games here. So now to go on the road, let's see if the Bears can put a complete game together. They have yet to do that on the road.
All right. Don't forget to tune into Fox 32 before and after the Bears 49ers game on Sunday. Bears Game Day Live kicks off at 9:30. We'll have a one-on-one with Kenny Albert, who is on the call for the game. And Tina highlights some of the best moments in Bears 49ers history. Then it's Chicago Sports Tonight at 10 o'clock with Lou and Tina. They'll be joined by 670 The Score's Matt Spiegel and Mark Brody. And Lou and Big Ant take you home on Bears Game Night Live at 10:30 right here on Fox 32 Chicago.